10 epic facts you won't believe why no one could stop them. Imagine a war machine that conquered half the known world, leaving empires in ruins and cities burning, all in just 20 short years. Welcome to the Mongol Empire, where 10 epic facts will show you why no one dared to stand in their way. In 1219 CE, a humble tribe from the steppes of Mongolia would unleash a terror upon the world that would leave historians speechless. Led by the enigmatic Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire would go on to conquer lands as far apart as China, Eastern Europe, and the Middle East, leaving a trail of destruction and death in their wake. But what made the Mongols so unstoppable? What secret lay behind their lightning-fast victories and merciless campaigns? And what can we learn from their ruthless tactics that can still be applied today? As we delve into the epic story of the Mongol Empire, you'll discover 10 jaw-dropping facts that will shatter your perceptions of history and leave you wondering how one army managed to dominate the known world for so long. Intro. From the icy steppes of Mongolia to the scorching deserts of the Middle East, the Mongol Empire's expansion was nothing short of breathtaking. In just 2 decades, they conquered over 24 million square miles of land, leaving an estimated 40 million people dead in their wake. But it wasn't just their sheer numbers or military might that made them so fearsome. It was their ingenious tactics, their technological innovations, and their unwavering discipline. As we explore the 3 key factors behind the Mongol success, you'll be amazed at how they managed to stay one step ahead of their enemies and leave no stone unturned in their pursuit of conquest. But here's the thing. The Mongols' most shocking secret lies not in their military prowess or their technological advancements, but in their surprisingly modern approach to warfare. You'll be stunned to learn how they used espionage, sabotage, and psychological warfare to break their enemies' spirits before even laying a sword to them. And as we reveal the full extent of their cunning tactics, you'll be left wondering how they managed to keep their enemies guessing for so long. And you won't believe what happens next. As we expose the 3 key factors behind the Mongols' dominance and reveal the darkest secrets of their campaigns, you'll be on the edge of your seat, waiting for the next installment in this epic story. Part 1. The Mongols' lightning-fast mobility. One of the most critical factors behind the Mongol success was their lightning-fast mobility. Using their horses, which were bred specifically for speed and endurance, they could cover vast distances in a fraction of the time it took their enemies to react. Imagine an army that could march 20 miles a day without rest, for weeks on end, always staying one step ahead of their pursuers. This allowed them to launch surprise attacks on enemy cities and then vanish into the steppes before their enemies could even respond. But it wasn't just their horses that made them so mobile. The Mongols also pioneered the use of scouts and messengers, using them to gather intelligence on their enemies and relay orders across vast distances. This allowed them to coordinate their attacks with military precision, always keeping their enemies off balance. And it was this combination of speed and stealth that made the Mongols almost unbeatable in battle. For example, during the Mongols' conquest of the Tanguts, they used their scouts to gather intelligence on the enemy's defenses and then launched a surprise attack on their capital city. The Tanguts were caught completely off guard, and their army was quickly overwhelmed. The Mongols then used their messengers to send orders to their troops, coordinating their attack and ensuring that their enemies were surrounded on all sides. It was a masterclass in military strategy, and one that would be studied for centuries to come. As we explore the Mongols' use of mobility in more detail, you'll be amazed at how they managed to stay one step ahead of their enemies and always keep the initiative. But here's the thing. The Mongols' mobility was just the beginning of their secret to success. There was something far more sinister at play. Part 2. The Mongols' cunning use of espionage. The Mongols were masters of espionage. using spies and saboteurs to infiltrate their enemies' camps and disrupt their supply lines. They used these tactics to devastating effect during the conquest of the Jin dynasty in China, where they sent spies to infiltrate the Jin court and gather intelligence on their military plans. The Mongols then used this information to launch a series of surprise attacks, catching the Jin army off guard and quickly overwhelming them. But the Mongols' use of espionage went far beyond simple spying. They also used psychological warfare to break the spirits of their enemies, spreading rumors and half-truths about their own military prowess to demoralize their foes. For example, during the conquest of the Khwarezmid Empire, the Mongols sent a group of spies to infiltrate the Khwarezmid court and spread rumors that Genghis Khan was about to launch a massive invasion. The Khwarezmid army was quickly demoralized, and their defenses For example, during the conquest of the Tangus, the Mongols launched a series of mass slaughters, killing an estimated 60% of the population in a single campaign. But the Mongols' tactics went far beyond simple slaughter. They also used psychological warfare to break the spirits of their enemies, using torture and humiliation to extract information and crush their will to resist. For example, during the conquest of the Khwarezmid Empire, the Mongols used a torture technique called the iron cage, where prisoners were locked in a small cage and then subjected to intense heat and physical abuse. The Mongols' tactics were so brutal that even their own soldiers were horrified by them. One Mongol soldier, a veteran of the conquest of the Jin dynasty, wrote a letter to his family describing the atrocities he had witnessed during the campaign. "I have seen things that I wish I had not seen," he wrote. "I have seen cities reduced to rubble, populations slaughtered, and prisoners subjected to unspeakable torture." But here's the thing. The Mongols' tactics were not just brutal, they were also strangely modern. They used psychological warfare, espionage, and sabotage to break the spirits of their enemies, just like modern armies do today. And it was this combination of brutality and modernity that made the Mongols almost unbeatable in battle. As we conclude our exploration of the Mongols' secret to success, you'll be left wondering how one army managed to dominate the known world for so long. But the truth is, the Mongol success was not just a product of their military might or their technological innovations, but of their cunning tactics and ruthless determination. And it's this combination of factors that makes them one of the most fascinating and terrifying armies in history. Outro. In conclusion, the Mongols' secret to success was a combination of lightning-fast mobility, cunning use of espionage, and ruthless tactics. They used their horses to cover vast distances, their scouts to gather intelligence, and their messengers to coordinate their attacks. They used spies and saboteurs to infiltrate their enemies' camps and psychological warfare to break their spirits. And they used brutal methods to crush their enemies, leaving nothing but rubble and death in their wake. But here's the thing. The Mongols' tactics were not just brutal, they were also strangely modern. They used psychological warfare, espionage, and sabotage to break the spirits of their enemies, just like modern armies do today. And it's this combination of factors that makes them one of the most fascinating and terrifying armies in history. So what can we learn from the Mongols' success? How can we apply their tactics to our own lives? And what does their legacy teach us about the nature of power and conquest? These are questions that will be explored in our next video, where we'll delve deeper into the Mongols' secrets and reveal the darker side of their campaigns. But for now, let's leave it here. The Mongols' legacy is a testament to the power of cunning, ruthlessness, and determination. And it's a reminder that even the greatest empires can fall if they underestimate the strength and resilience of their enemies. So subscribe to our channel for more epic stories of history's greatest armies. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos.